Well, hey guys, it's Mike from Just Car People Things, and we have sold our 2004 Toyota Tundra. I live on a pretty busy road, and I put it out in front. I cleaned it all up. I shined it all up. I'll splash a picture of what it looked like all shiny up in front here. And the car sold in, no joke, 4 hours and 7 minutes. I timed it. I had a nice couple come by. They were looking for a first car for their teenage son. And a 2004 lightly used Toyota Tundra is the perfect car for a teenager about to go to college for sure. So we're coming into fall, and I had my eye out and was looking for cars, and we ended up with this, a 2006 Grand Touring Package Mazda Miata MX-5. And this is a really a light year ahead of the past Miatas I've had. I've had NAs and NBs. And there's even a picture of me up there rocking a cone in one of my NAs at a 97 M edition. So I've always loved Miatas. I've had 5 or 6 of them over the years. I've never had an NC. In fact, until I test drove a couple of these, I had never even driven an NC. And I gotta tell you, this one is in pretty decent shape. It has about 99,000 miles on it. It's got an aftermarket set of wheels. I'll be honest with you, I don't love the look of them, but we're gonna replace those tires with snow tires to drive it in the winter. And I just wanted to run through in this video a couple things that you might want to look for when you're looking at an NC Miata. Overall, these cars tend to be incredibly reliable for what they are. Generally speaking, the Miata is one of the more reliable sports cars across the board. These in particular were pretty well sorted. There was a random issue with the 2006 models. That was the first year for this body style with the shift fork underneath the car, so we'll be double checking that. You have to make sure it's in alignment when it's moving, otherwise it can damage the synchros in the transmission. If you test drive one and it's a manual, make absolutely certain that it feels good going into 3rd and 4th gear. These transmissions are known to be a little crunchy, especially on OEM fluid. There are some solutions to that, but just approach with caution. That's specific to the 06. All of the later NCs, NC2s, as you get further down the line past 2007, 8, 9, 10, all the way up till they released the ND Miata in 2016, don't have that issue. You'll want to make sure that it's got a clean history. Just like any other car, you're going to want to take a close look at it. You're going to want to make sure all the panels match, the paint looks correct, make sure that you're not seeing any glaring faults with the car. I did identify a few things I'm going to need to fix. I've got kind of a bulky window switch that's loose. I think that might even be able to be glued back to the micro switch underneath. It still works, it just, you kind of got to fiddle with it. This doesn't have the heated seats, otherwise the switching would be down there. I want to check and see if I've got the wiring for the heated seats, because you can always install aftermarket much more easily, and I think heated seats in a convertible are where it's at. You'll want to make sure, and these are pretty straightforward how they operate, that releases it. You want to make sure that the top is in pretty decent condition. These tops are pricey. And if the car sat outside a lot, this canvas will really start to degrade. This is just kind of baked in dirt, and you'll see a little bit of that along here in the tan top. The Grand Touring cars came with leather. They came with a few different packages as well. If you have yellow shock absorbers, you have the suspension package, which you can see looking underneath here. I don't believe we do, but I've got to get a better look. It drove fine, and it didn't feel like it had a limited slip. As I mentioned, these tires are looking a little sad, but the brakes were solid. All the braking surfaces look good. Actually, the brake pedal in this car is excellent. The funny story about it is the guy bought it a few thousand miles ago for his son, who is in his late teens, and the chuckle for all of you is that he didn't want to learn how to drive stick, and I found that a little overwhelming. So this car in the last 2 or 3 years has only been driven a couple thousand miles. We'll clean up the headlights here, try to remove some of that oxidation on the headlights. That's something to look for. These cowl bolts have a known history of potentially leaking along here. They're very easy to replace. They're like 10 bucks. I'll probably just do that to be safe. When you're looking at one, you're going to want to make sure to open the gas door, which is right there. Hood and trunk, and obviously you can see this thing, you know, it needs some love with the carpets and some other items, but cleaning is easy. Replacing stuff mechanical gets a lot less fun. So there's your hood and trunk release. You want to make sure to inspect the trunk. As you can see, I've got the factory toolkit here. You want to inspect the trunk and make sure there's not a ton of evidence of water intrusion. If you look at this carpet and you see water marks all over here, or you smell this and you go, oh man, this smells like it's just really been dirty and sat and kind of stinky, musty, you want to make sure to check your top drains. And that's particularly true if this car occasionally was parked outside. You can see evidence of that in kind of the seams, which we'll of course clean all this up, and once we do a wash, and we'll show you a video of that fun stuff too. I did have to get new license plate bolts. I pulled out of the Secretary of State branch here, or DMV branch here, and realized I didn't have the right bolts for it. So snagged those from an Ace Hardware. They were like $1, no big deal. When you're walking around these cars too, you want to check the insides of the seams. Make sure they all sort of feel coherent. If they feel really rough or don't quite feel right, you're going to know that the car might have been hit. And this car's got a clean auto check. So clean Carfax auto check, get the VIN number, always do one. And you're going to want to do that just to make sure that the vehicle has, you know, a clean history and hasn't been in accidents. They built a lot of Miatas. There's a lot of nice ones out there. And so what I would say to you is make absolutely certain the one you're buying hasn't been hit. You want to avoid that stuff. So there's some easy ways to tell if a car has been hit. You can sometimes see overspray on panels, on other parts. You can feel this inside edge here. Sometimes if things have been repainted, that edge will be rough, or you'll notice polishing compound marks on it. You'll want to look at things like this factory strip of glue, epoxy, that holds sort of these things together and gives it some NVH resistance. Make sure all that stuff looks like it hasn't been redone by somebody. So this car looks pretty clean. I don't think it's ever been in a crash. It had a clean auto check. Never rely just on a Carfax or an auto check. Always check that for yourselves. The other thing you'll want to do on one of these cars is reach up, particularly in the back. Corrosion's always an issue. Particularly this one has been driven in the winter a few times. Just put your hand in there and use your finger and just feel the back of that panel. Just run your hand around along that edge, that inside seam. And if you feel anything scary and don't find anything other than maybe a little bit of dirt, you know, you're good. But if you start feeling roughness, you start feel like, oh, this is getting chewed on by rust. Miatas are famous for rusting out right here. On this car, this panel is plastic. So they've changed some things in how the unibody works. You'll want to make sure to bring a good flashlight, get underneath the car, and take a close look at it. But overall, this one seems pretty clean. It doesn't seem like it's been in any crashes. It's got 99,000 miles on it. Total cost on it was somewhere you'll want to pay between $4,000 and $7,000 for one of these, and you'll find them kind of occasionally in that price range. It's nice to find a Grand Touring in that price range because obviously that's the higher trim. So, you know, this car has keyless entry, integrated key. It's got some nice, easy, convenient things that you just don't always get and didn't get in older cars. It has HID headlights. You can actually see at night. It has these nice leather seats. I will caution you, if you are eyeing a Miata, that I'm about 6 feet tall, almost 6'1". I have a 32-inch inseam, and for me to fit in this car comfortably, this seat is all the way back. So if you're much taller than 6'1" or 6'2", you're kind of oddly proportioned, this just might not be the car for you. So I want to mention that to you. That's a quick, having driven it home, I've put maybe 30, 40 miles on it today. Another thing to check when you buy a car, make sure that this space looks okay. Fuel can be corrosive. Sometimes you'll see on used cars where this starts getting eaten up by rust. This was an option on this car, the chrome filler door, so it's kind of a fun item. Looks kind of sharp on the car. I wasn't expecting to like it, but it looks good with the silver. So we're going to do a few things. It also came with a Roadster Sport exhaust. And one thing I'll tell you, you know, you can't go wrong with a good flashlight. I'll drop a couple in the comments here for you guys to take a look at. So get a good flashlight, one that's very bright like this guy. You can go around in the paint and you can really determine, oh wait, these two taillights might be different, or the headlight got replaced, or the paint doesn't match between this panel and this panel. And obviously the bumper looks a little different because it's plastic and that's normal. But anyway, one thing I'll tell you to do when you get a car like this is make sure you wear clothes you don't care about and get down on the ground with a good flashlight and just get a look around, right? Make sure all the alignment bolts don't look out of whack, that they look similar. Make sure that the rust isn't too bad. We've got a little surface rust in this car, but nothing that is really scary at all. But yeah, get down on your hands and knees. Look at the tires for even tire wear. You know, look at the rear differential. Get a good look at the shock absorbers. This does not have the performance package. If it was, the performance pack has yellow Bilstein shocks. underneath it. But that's just a tip for you when you're looking at one of these. The other NC Miata problem I should mention to you guys, if you are looking at one, and what's the most likely thing to kill one of these, is this right here. This is a coolant expansion tank. It's literally, you know, a couple bolts, 3 bolts here that hold it on, a couple clips. Obviously, this is pressurized. Don't mess with it while the car is hot like it is right now. But you'll notice how this is yellow and brittle. If this thing cracks or fails at any of this points from the heat from the motor, it will kill the engine. And oftentimes, you will lose coolant so fast that the car will seize up just as the light is even coming on. So don't kill your motor. These occasionally eat a little oil, but no worse than any of the Honda products I've owned. Make sure if you get one of these, and I have one on order right now, they're about $70, just replace this part as insurance. It's very, very cheap insurance and will ensure the car is gonna run for a long, long time. Otherwise, we're gonna do a full cleanup and tear down on this car today. We'll probably do a wash video for exterior wash. We'll do some underhood. We've got to clean some corners, a little underhood. We'll get that top really scrubbed up in a way that hopefully takes away some of that junk. We'll keep the hood open and, you know, just clean out. This is what happens when a car sits outside sometimes, you know, for a few weeks or a few months or however long. And you just don't want this crap living there, because that's going to start affecting your, you know, your rust factor and damage to the vehicle and stuff like that. I've got transmission fluid on order. I have rear diff fluid I'm going to do. The oil was recently changed, so I think we're okay there. But just some odds and ends. It also desperately needs a wheel balance. I drove it home on the highway. It was very clear this guy only ever really drove this car around town, because at about 70 miles an hour, it was like driving a pogo stick, and that is not a great experience. But this is our new NC Miata. I'm super excited about it. I'm going to drive it all winter. I'm going to put some snows on it. And we're going to have a great time with it. But if you guys have questions or comments about these cars, you feel free to drop them in the comments. I appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, looking at these cars, enjoying these cars. This is a cool thing to do. You know, this is one of the few, this is for sub $6,000-$7,000. This is a really nice car. It needs some things like a new antenna. God help us with this thing. We're getting a new stubby antenna, which was $19. Parts are cheap for them. You know, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you guys can do to enjoy these sorts of things. I hope you like seeing work on these cars and seeing what sort of a normal hobbyist can do with one. It's super fun to be able to go from here to here and then to here and look at some of the fun stuff that you can do for relatively not insane dollar amounts. If you added the value of all 3 of these cars up, that's about what you would pay for a brand new Corvette. And I would rather have these 3 cars and be able to knock around and have fun in them than just one. So everybody's a little different, but again, appreciate you liking, subscribing, appreciate you checking out the new car, and feel free to let us know if you have any questions. Cheers, guys.